Welcome to Last of the Romans Madden 24 Dynasty, and I've got the player progression run after having done the 7 rounds of the draft, and also I did like probably 10 rounds of maybe an additional 5 to 10 rounds depending on the team of undrafted free agents. Tried to get each team up to 65 players. Their limit's 75, so I filled it as much as I could. I ran out of a lot of positions at undrafted free agent. So, anyways, we've got the 49ers here, and Demador Lenore, the third-year guy, jumped up 8 to an 84. Eli Mitchell jumped up 6 to an 87. Latu 6 to an 81. Their safety Jair Brown went up to an 80. Hamler, who they signed, went up to a 79. Danny Gray to a 79. Their fourth round right outside linebacker immediately went up 5 points to a 73. Ayuk got a little bit better. Debo got a little bit better. Drake Jackson got a little bit better. Yeah, it was a pretty good progression for the 49ers. For the Bears, Braxton Jones went up 11 points, and Larry Borum went up 9, which is crazy. Would have rather that been Darnell Wright, but I did not pick how this progressed, so this is what happened. Cole Kmet went up 7. Caleb Williams starts at an 85 with 5 progression points. Jack Sanborn went up to an 81. Tyreek Stevenson to an 83. Got some good cornerbacks with Terrell Smith going up to a 79. TJ Edwards up to an 86. Tevin Jenkins up to an 85. Rome Adunzier up to an 83. Darnell Wright up to an 83. Velus Jones, who got moved to running back, up to an 81. Yeah, I mean, this was actually a really good role for the Bears because it's just a ton of progression. Bengals had Xavier Worthy jump up to an 85 to start, and Cam Taylor-Britt to an 85 as well. Luke McCaffrey went up to a 78. It's pretty cool. Money Mac, 84. Jermaine Pratt, middle linebacker, 84. They drafted Jatavian Sanders, who immediately went up to an 80. T. Higgins got a little bit better. Logan Wilson. Daxton Hill. Yeah, this was a decent one for the Bengals, too. Oh, man, though. The Bills had Guyton go up 10 immediately after drafting him in the first round. Ed Oliver went up to an 88, which makes a lot of sense after he had a monster season, even though I know the progression's not tied to stats. Keon Coleman comes in at an 86, which is crazy. Dalton Kincaid, 91 now. Dawson Knox up to an 88. Spencer Brown, 76. That's not impressive, really. AJ Epinesa up to a 93. Yeah, Russo up to an 87. For the Broncos, Quinion Mitchell, who they drafted at 12th overall, immediately went up 14 points to 90. McLaughlin, the running back, went up to an 89. That's going to be interesting. Spencer Rattler, who they got in the 4th round, went up to a 78. I think looks like Stidham. Oh yeah, Stidham's an 81 now, so he's still ahead of him. Yeah, not a great progression for the Broncos, really. So then the Browns, their punter got a little bit better, which is good because he was awful. Cornerbacks got better, 88 and 84. Martin Emerson's an 84 now. That's pretty cool. Yosu Koromoa went up to an 83. Delpit up to an 82. Their new middle linebacker, Jalen Ford, who they drafted in the second round, only went up 2. And not the greatest progression for the Browns. Ooh, this one's kind of rough too. Jalen Jones, who the Buccaneers got from the Bears, went up to an 80. Logan Hall up to an 83. Yeah, that's a rough one. Cardinals, Jalen Bullock immediately went up to a 78. Marvin Harrison up to an 89. Paris Johnson up to an 82. Jackson Powers Johnson, that is, starts out as a 77. BJ Ojulari up to an 81. Michael Wilson up to an 81. Yeah, some decent progression for the Cardinals. I would have liked to see Myjai Sanders and Trey McBride get a bit more, but okay. Chargers had Isaiah Spiller jump up. Parnum, Zion Johnson, Blake Corum's up to a 79. Neighbors up to an 86. Tuli Pilatu, left outside linebacker, up to an 84. So some decent progression for the Chargers. Chiefs had way more than they needed. Their left end that was undrafted, Truman Jones, went up to a 75. Wanyan Morris up to a 73. Pacheco going up to a 92 is crazy. Creed Humphrey going up to a 94. Karloftis up to an 88. Louise Reese Zammit, the rugby player that they signed, up to an 87. McDuffie and Rashi Rice up to 86. Yeah, that's a really good role for the Chiefs, unfortunately, for the rest of the league. Kwity Paye for the Colts went up quite a bit to an 86. Odenabo up to a 77. Jojo Damon 80. Michael Pittman 89. Their punter that they drafted up to a 78. Yeah, and then it kind of falls off from there. Ant got up to a 88. Moving on to the Commanders, Edgerrin Cooper had a big jump to start. He's up to a 79. Their third-year corner, St. Just, went up to a 82, which is a big jump. Their second-round guard jumped up to a 74. Drake Mays up to a 79, which is pretty good for a rookie. Manuel Flores up to an 80. Cowboys. Yeah, this is a strange one. Jacob Cowing. I have no idea who that is. He was undrafted. They took him. I can look at my notes to see where they took him in the supplemental undrafted draft. And by the way, I just gave them all 90,000 or 900,000 per year, which is pretty much a typical undrafted contract. So it's like 2.7 million for 3 years is what that contract is, and I did that for pretty much all of the signings for the undrafted guys. So Dallas, they were, and I had randomized the draft order for the undrafted free agents. They were second. They took Cowing in the third round. Yeah. So they got really lucky with Cowing. He's up to a 79, jumping up 10. Zach Frazier, their center, who they just drafted in the second round, he's up to an 80. Golston's up to a 77. Rico Dowdle up to an 83. Tyler Smith 83. Ferguson went up. Sam Williams, their rookie seventh round running back, Blake Watson, went up to a 74. Trey Lance had a bit of progression, up to a 76 now. Mozzie Smith up to a 79, not great. Oh, but Sion Taki Taki up to a 77 in his 5th year, which is surprising. Kool-Aid McKinstry only getting 1 point to start. Moving on to the Dolphins, Cooper Beebe went up to an 83 to start. You know, that was their 5th round guard selection. That's a really good selection. Oh, Tavondre Sweat jumped up 10 to a 79. Yeah, I guess that's why I took him in the 2nd with them. Their undrafted signing, Trent Jones, even went up 8 to a 73. Fashanu, their 1st round pick, jumped up 7 to an 82. Achan's up to a 99. Yeah. He was electric. I don't know if he's really a 99, but he was great last season. He looked like a 99, that's for sure. The Eagles, Jordan Davis went up to a 91. Donnie Mitchell, their rookie 1st round wide receiver selection, up to an 81. Grant Calcaterra up to a 78. Their 2nd round pick, Cameron Kitchens, jumped up to a 74. Devin Bush up to an 80. Yeah, Jalen Hurts got a little bit better. Falcons, yeah, Drake London's a monster, and now Polk with him jumping up 5. Troy Anderson up to an 85. That's pretty cool. Liatu Latu, or however you say the guy's name, 79 now. That's pretty good. That was their 1st round 8th overall selection. Clark Phillips, the cornerback that they had from the year before in the draft, he's up to a 76. Mason Smith, their 2nd round selection, defensive tackle, up to a 75, which is pretty good. Kyle Pitts up to a 92. Darnell Mooney up to an 85. Yeah, he's probably not that good. I'll be honest. I'm a Bears fan. I watched him. He wasn't playing that great last year. He was good before that, but last year he just did not look like himself. Frank Gore Jr. up to a 74. Bijan Robinson up to a 95. Rondale Moore up to a 82. So then the Giants had Bellinger get up to an 86. Kayvon Thibodeau up to a 93. Isaiah Simmons, now that's a surprise, up to an 87. Xavier McKinney up to an 87 as well. Slayton jumped up 5 in his 5th year. That's a big surprise. Marshawn Lloyd, their rookie running back that they really needed to be good, went up to a 77, so that's good for them. Wandale and Hyatt both got better. Wandale's up to an 88. Aziz Al-Sholari up to an 80. Dexter Lawrence, 96 in his 5th year. Brian Burns up to an 89 in his 5th year. Jaguars, and their fullback was one that jumped up the most, and he's still not good. But Jared Verse, their 1st overall, 1st round pick, that is, the 17th in the draft, he jumped up 8 points to an 80. Sam Ristrell up to an 81, their 2nd round pick. Their 7th round pick jumped up to a 71. He jumped up 6 points. Etienne up to a 91, even though he had a Achilles injury in the game. Darius Robinson up to a 73. Devin Lloyd, 79. Tank Bigsby, 78. Yeah, Trevor Lawrence up to an 81. I might boost that a little bit, I'm going to be honest with you. I kind of feel like Trevor Lawrence deserves to be a little bit better than that. Maybe a 72 or 3. Maybe, or not a 72 or 3, 82 or 3. Maybe 84. If he had jumped up that much by progression, I would have definitely left him, because I could see him getting better. But anyways, the Jets looked like they had a really rough progression. Only hiring White, they're undrafted. Yeah, only well, I guess a few of their drafted players. No, only one of their drafted players. Two of them. Never mind. Two of their drafted players had progression, and the rest of them did not. So that's rough. But Hiron White jumped up to a 73. Max Mitchell up to a 74. Breece Hall's up to a 95 now, and I really do believe in that rating. He is a really good running back, and they just held him back most of the year. Adefuan Alafushio, their 6th round pick, up to a 69. Yeah, that's a rough roll for the Jets. Let's see the Lions. Jamison Williams up to an 89. Bo Limmer, the center from Arkansas, 5th round pick, up to 72. Shane Zylstra. He was injured last year. I don't remember what the injury was, but he didn't play at all. But he's up to an 82, which is pretty good. Jonah Jackson up to an 80. Amon-Ra St. Brown, the son, got up to a 91. I could even see him rated higher than that, to be honest. Wow, David Montgomery in his 5th year getting 2 more points and going up to a 90. Aiden Hutchinson up to an 87. That's maybe a little underrated. That guy's a beast. Sam Laporta, too, is also a monster, but he's up to an 86 now. So only one of the guys they drafted actually had progression. That was their 5th round pick. So that might be a bit of a rough roll. Oh man, it looks like the Packers had a great roll. Runyon in his 4th year up to an 87. What the heck? Yeah, they definitely have their guards and tackles and centers on their whole offensive line. It's on something. It's not steroids. Everyone else is already on steroids. It can't just be steroids. They're definitely doing something different. But anyways, Mustafa, the strong safety that they took in the undrafted route, whatever you want to call it. However, I guess it was like a undrafted draft. Just because I wanted it to be fair and not just sign all the best players to the Bears. But anyways, Mustafa, their undrafted guy, he went up to a 74 plus 8. Walker up to a 76. Lucas Van Ness up to an 82. That's pretty good for them. Rashawn Gary up to a 93. Oh, that's scary. Christian Watson and Daubs both got a little bit better. Yeah, they had a pretty good time, I'd say. Even Josh Jacobs got better. So that'll bring us to the Panthers, and they had some really good progression, but mostly a bad roll, it looks like. But their slot guy, their 2nd round pick for cornerback, Rakestraw, man, he jumped up 15 to an 85. Ike Ekwonu up to an 87. Guerrendo, I don't know how to say that guy's name. Guerrendo, he's their 3rd round pick, and they needed a running back to progress, and he went up 6 points to an 82. Mingo up to an 82 as well. Yeah, then it kind of falls off from there. And let's see, so that means 2. Yeah, they had some decent progression for their draft class. Just, I think, let's see if we sort it. Can we sort it by draft class? I guess I can't even sort it by draft pick. That's interesting. But we'll see. So yeah, they only had a 2nd round. That's right, because they traded the 1st overall pick to the Bears. Yeah, they had some decent progression for their drafted players. That'll bring up the Patriots, who I guess that's decent. Gibson went up to an 89. That's shocking. Booty up to an 85. That's pretty crazy too. They really needed that. Marcus Jones up to an 82. McClellan, their undrafted running back, jumped up to a 78. Right guard 88 now for Onwenu. Dallin Welker, their rookie second round tight end pick, up to an 80. And Jaden Daniels up to a 78 to start. That's pretty good. I guess that puts him on the same level as Justin Fields. But hopefully he's not anything like Fields and he can, you know, go through his progressions and stuff and not either get scared. I don't know what Fields' problem was. He just he would go through his progression. It was either he was rushing through it or he just, I don't know, it didn't identify guys that were gonna get open. Well, in any case, I don't need to go on about the failings of Bears quarterbacks. That's been well stated. Let's get on to the Raiders. They had a rough time, it looks like. But their cornerback jumped up to a 78. Dallas Turner, their 13th overall selection in this draft, up to an 80. Aiden O'Connell up to a 79. Wow. Michael Mayer up to an 81. Duvernay 80 in his 4th year. Christian Wilkins even progressed a little bit in his 5th year. Yeah, it's okay for the Raiders, I'd say. Getting that boost to Aiden O'Connell was pretty good. Let's see. So the Rams, though, I mean, it's not a great progression. Yeah. Hennessy up to 76. Yeah, there's not a lot to sink your teeth into. Ronnie Rivers up to an 82 for some reason. Skoranek up to a 74. Kieran Williams up to a 90. Yeah, they had some decent progression, but it's not where you'd want it, really. Ravens had Keaton Mitchell go up to an 86. That's an 8-point jump. Trenton Simpson up 9 points to an 83. Dafe Awe up to an 84. Wow, their left outside linebackers are pretty good now. Kyle Hamilton jumped up 7 points to a 91. Their undrafted right guard Correa up to a 72, 7 points. Patrick Queen up to an 89. Zay Flowers up to 90. Ojabo up to an 81. Matabuki 81. For the Saints, yeah, it is the Saints. Their kicker progressed really well. They had him undrafted, so that was pretty good. Olave's up to an 89. Alontae Taylor 87. Brian Breezy 79. Yeah, hopefully that'll continue his progression throughout his career. A.T. Perry up to a 76. Kalen Saunders up to a 74. Juwan Johnson up a little bit. Chase Young up a little bit. Yeah, it's okay. Really, I'm just jealous of the Packers' progression so far. Maybe it's just because they're the rival and I'm over valuing their progression, but it seemed pretty good. So then the Seahawks, Jackson Smith and Jigba up to an 85. Brock Bowers immediately at an 88. They took him 16th overall. Their 6th round pick, Bucky Irving's up to a 77. Kenneth Murray up to a 79. Cade Johnson went up a bit, but not really relevant. Charles Cross up to an 81. Kenneth Walker 92 now. DK went up a bit. Not the worst. Ooh, this looks decent. Steelers had Jonathan Marshall jump up 70 to 72. Presley Harvin up. Pat Freiermuth up to a 91. That's really good. Joey Porter up to an 85. Devin White 84. Their rookie 4th 4th round selection. Nealon up to a 76 already. Najee going up to an 85. Darnell Washington up to 87. DeMarvin Leal up to 87. Quez Watkins got a little bit better. I'm still not sure if they're trading Deontay Johnson or not. I haven't decided. I guess I'll wait and probably leave him. I don't know. He'll definitely be on the block if I see any team that needs a wide receiver and it makes sense to trade him. So the Texans had Nolan Potter, their undrafted left tackle, jump up to a 73, 7 points. Will Anderson up to an 88. Nico Collins an 88. CJ Stroud an 89. Derek Stingley 84. Xavier Hutchinson had some steady progression. Yeah, it's not a bad role for them. Titans, let's see, Kieran Amagadije, 2nd round pick, end of the 2nd round, jumped up 9 points to 77. Skoronski up to an 83, 5 points. Joe Alt immediately at an 80, their 7th overall selection. Jeffrey Simmons going up to a 94 in his 5th year. That's really good. Caleb Farley and Rashad Weaver going up 4 points each. Same with the rest of these stats. The undrafted center that they took, Kadarius Toney up to an 83. Not even sure who Kadarius Toney plays for anymore, to be honest. But I have him on the Titans here. Kyle Phillips up 3 points, 79. Yeah, Tyjae Spears up to an 85. Chigo Okonkwo, I actually think he should be higher than this. He's only an 84 here. Tony Pollard up to an 85. Stonehouse up to an 83. Let's have a look at the Vikings, and then I guess we'll look at the free agents too, just to see. And yeah, I'm gonna have to do another like free agent run where I do another draft of that. And it's probably only going to be 3 rounds, but it's going to take a lot of time, I feel like. But anyways, no use complaining about it. It's not going to make it go by faster. Bradbury went up 5 points to an 81. Byron Murphy to an 87. Cam Akers to an 82. Andrew Van Ginkel up to an 83 at in his 5th year. Jordan Addison went up a little bit. Yeah, I could see Addison rated higher than that even. Renfro, for some reason, went up. Alright, let's check out the free agents, and then, oh, there was definitely some progression here. So Josh Wallace, the undrafted guy, jumped up a whole lot. Westbrook Akinney at wide receiver. Yeah, it's interesting. There's definitely going to be some more moves that I'll have to make to get these rosters where they should be. I guess I'm just going to go over... I wanted to sort by draft pick, but I guess let's have a look at... just positions, just a couple of key positions. Just, I mean, I know we've seen them all by now, but you know, it might be interesting to look at this. So Jordan Travis up to a 69, up 4 points for the Ravens is pretty good. See if there's anything I missed. Brock Purdy up to an 85 now. Penix up to an 80, so that's going to be a quarterback battle in Minnesota between Penix and Darnold, because they're both 80. Bryce Young only up to a 79. Sean Clifford up to a 75. Let's have a look at running backs. It was Keaton Mitchell, McLaughlin, Gibson, Eli Mitchell, Garando, Pacheco, McClellan. Were there any undrafted guys or free agents I'm looking for? Roundtree went up to a 68 as a free agent, but yeah, it's not really impressive. Yeah, Cowing was the big one for wide receiver. Xavier Worthy jumping up 9 points is pretty crazy too. 10, I feel like, with Komet and Bellinger and Kincaid and Cameron Latu for the 49ers. That's a big jump, 6 points. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with how the progression went. Yeah, I really like the progression tool quite a bit. Well, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.